expecting another packed house at Isotopes Park as tonight, New Mexico United host the side that have been packing houses in USL for 5 years, Sacramento Republic. Welcome into commentary of tonight's match. Chris Whittingham alongside the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey for commentary of this one. And Gary, it is a packed part of the season for New Mexico United, playing Wednesday, Saturday, a league match on Wednesday, but they have the goals to back up the games that are coming thick and fast.
Yeah, and this man, Kavan Freitas, does he score goals along with Santiamoa, who, by the way, will be on the bench for this game, but he can be brought on if necessary. Freitas with 10, Moa with 9. They are both scoring machines.
And as a team, 31 goals in USL. Now level with Phoenix Rising after they put 5 past Tulsa Roughnecks, but it's the efficiency from these two as they lead the league in goals scored.
It's amazing to have first and second in the same team is brilliant, but look at the shots on target, as you say, the efficiency from 35 shots to have 23 on target for Santiamoa and 17 from 26. Those are awesome, absolutely awesome stats, and I think any striker anywhere in the world would be proud of those.
As you know, get to our player to watch for Sacramento Republic and have a look at this strike from Sam Warner.
Absolutely brilliant. He comes on his left foot, he hits it, but look at it from behind. He hits it absolutely perfectly, bends it, and it thumps into that top corner. Keeper got absolutely no chance of that. Brilliant goal, golazo.
Three-time national championship winner at Stanford, and now making his 10th league start of the campaign tonight on 3 goals and 2 assists for the year. New Mexico United, one of the breakout stories of the USL Championship season. Both of these sides play against MLS sides in the Open Cup in midweek, but tonight it's New Mexico United home with Sacramento Republic.
Hey, where's Roush and Justin?
I don't know, bro.
Yo, this is crazy. Y'all gotta come check this out. Come on, come on.
Elvis Osmanovic leading the teams out onto the field. New Mexico United fresh off an appearance on Wednesday Night Soccer, a 1-1 draw with OKC Energy. Our home tonight was Sacramento Republic, looking to turn around their campaign. They currently sit a few points off the playoff places in the Western Conference. As we now take a look at our starting lineups, they are brought to you by Michelob Ultra. Gary Bailey for New Mexico United. 7 changes from the team on Wednesday, including an entire new 4 across midfield.
Wow, do you think maybe they're looking ahead to the US Open match next week against Colorado? Perhaps, but it's still a strong side. We were going through through it. And these players have played plenty of matches throughout the season, of course, with Kavan Freitas up front. You've still got a goal-scoring machine there. So I'm expecting them to put on a very, very decent performance. And there's a couple of good players on the bench if needed.
And for New Mexico, a couple of players that applied their trade with Sacramento before. Let's take a look at their team. A pair of changes with Dekel Kanan out due to yellow card suspension. Matt Mahoney comes in for him. Drew Skundrich comes into midfield. He replaces Stefano Bonomo.
Yeah, Skundrich just behind Iwasa. Iwasa up front with 5 goals in 10 appearances in the league. So he's been scoring on a decent rate. Werner, as we saw in the opening, scoring a couple of cracking goals as well. And interesting, as much as Sacramento might be sitting in 11th place in the Western Conference, a win will take them right up to what was effectively joint 4th. A whole bunch of teams on 20 points. So they could still turn their season around. But for New Mexico, what a season it has been. Absolutely brilliant.
And the record could actually be even better if games ended at halftime. They've gone either into the break in front or level in all 14 of their league matches. Just about ready to get started. Sacramento Republic in the white and gray, New Mexico in the black with a yellow trim. As you've come to expect, a pack house at Isotopes Park as Sacramento get us started. New Mexico United, one of the true standout stories of the USL Championship in 2019, leading the league in average attendance, coming into the week on 12,299 per match. On Wednesday night, putting 13,574 at Isotopes Park. Take on Sacramento Republic, a club that have been one of the best in the league in terms of attendance throughout its entire history. They see new kids on the block and might want to take them down a few pegs. They themselves off a league victory against San Antonio FC. An own goal, and we showed you that Sam Warner goal in the build-up that gave Sacramento a victory, a much-needed victory. They come into this match scoring less than half as many goals as New Mexico United have on the campaign. A slight difference in attacking firepower.
Absolutely. You mentioned how good New Mexico have been this season. They seem to be setting records for everything. Attendances, the #1. They're top of the league. They were until, I think, was it last night, the top goal scorers. They've got the 2 top goal scorers in the division. I mean, what are they not top of? And that's in their first season. So, yeah, I mean, you can't say enough about how brilliant a start is. Does it mean they go on to win things? Well, maybe not, but certainly probably the best start we've ever seen at this level of football.
You'll forgive us for the slight glare. Our camera on the halfway line as the ball gets put out to touch. As we can now bring you our keys to the match, they're brought to you by Garcia Automotive Group. And we take a look at them tonight for New Mexico United. Aware of that Sacramento front line, which tonight is led by Cameron Iwasa, their top scorer.
Yeah, Troy Lesane saying that in particular he was very impressed with Sacramento and their ability to attack, including the likes of Sam Warner. So he was particular about how they would have to concentrate, and also in broken play. When they lose the ball, New Mexico, how do they get it back? How do they counter-attack? How do they stop the counter-attacks? He felt they needed to improve in that area as well. But well, from Troy Lesane, it's difficult to be critical of a team that's had this good a start. I mean, what do you say as a New Mexico coach about your players?
Well, one of the things that he has said is that we've established that we can score goals, we can get forward, getting players in the right areas, but he did say that a lot of it is through Santi Moar, who is on the bench as the referee assesses a free kick and now will allow for medical treatment to come on. But for new clubs, getting the goal scoring figured out is among the more difficult things to do, as it's Ray Sari who's down for Sacramento.
It certainly is, and you talked about efficiency before the start of the game. Coach Troy Lesane himself saying we are extremely efficient with our attacks, not always the most shots, but certainly the most percentage on target, and that's, I mean, that's what you push for to the very highest levels of football anywhere in the world. So certainly have got it right here, and that, again, it's difficult to find any fault. Normally when you deal with most clubs, you can say, well, they could improve here. As we look at the coach Lesane, you say we can improve here, maybe we can do that. I'm looking at New Mexico and Troy Lesane and saying, well, yeah, great, well done. Nothing to say, just keep doing what you're doing. I guess that's it. You've got to keep doing what you're doing. You've set yourself an extremely high bar. Don't let it slip.
And for New Mexico, that bar could be even higher. On the campaign, 6 wins, 7 draws, and just the 1 loss. But in 5 of those 7 draws, they were in front. So theoretically, they have dropped 10 points from winning positions.
Good, you've managed to find something to criticize them about. There you go, coach, take that.
You know, and you do know that a coach will always be looking for things to improve on. So perhaps that among those things is Sarri does look fit to carry on, the 24-year-old from Kansas City.
I think you make a good point, actually. If you are in the lead and you let it slip too often, that would be of concern to the coaching staff. Are you losing concentration? Do you think you're too good for the game? Those will be things they'll be watching out for psychologically. But it's well done to you for finding the one fault.
Interesting to observe the shape for New Mexico United with an entirely new midfield. Does look like Salih Mohammed will play next to Tony Soler in the middle of that 4-man midfield. Pretty simple, flat 4-4-2 for Troy Lesesne. David Estrada on this right-hand side, and Ken Akamatsu, Japanese international, on the left. Ryan Williams is in behind Kevon Frater. Throwing here for Sacramento in a decent area. See the grass laid over what would be the baseball infield. We're listening to the commentary of Mike Watts, our colleague on Wednesday night, saying that the supplier of the grass has had severe flooding as the long throw is in, and it's dangerous. Could come for Sam Warner, and I just don't think he knew much about it because it was right there to be poked home. Still throwing for Sacramento.
It's all calmed down. It's gone back in their own half, Sacramento. But what a good chance they had. And for a second, I thought, you've got to score. Surely they've got to hit the back of the net. And they might look back at that as a fantastic opportunity. Were New Mexico sleeping? And to your point about the psychology of the game, are they a little bit overconfident having played so well because they were caught there and maybe should have been punished?
And Shannon Gomez will cut on to the right, will deliver towards the back post. And William Bijev cut out well. And now chasing it, Jordan McCrary. Will be a throw-in for Sacramento Republic. Both these sides doing well in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup and have reached the 4th round. Will both go away to MLS clubs in midweek. For Sacramento is a visit to San Jose Earthquakes. For New Mexico United in their first ever Open Cup are away to Colorado Rapids. Free kick won by Ken Akamatsu. Gary, you and I have had the chance to commentate on some matches in the Open Cup, and this is the round that the MLS clubs enter, and for the USL sides, a massive opportunity on to be the side that progresses further than any other out of USL and carries the flag for this growing league.
Absolutely. It's what you want to do at football, is test yourself against those in the higher divisions. And certainly for New Mexico, coming up against Colorado Rapids away from home is going to be a massive, massive test for them, as it will for Sacramento away at San Jose Earthquakes. Makes it a little bit more difficult when you're away from home as well. But as a player, you want to test yourself against those who claim to be better, to see just what the gap is and how close you are to closing that gap.
Cody Mizell playing long. Won by Manny Padilla, who will play it right back as Rashid Tete, the Ghanaian, next to him for cover in central defense. Justin Schmidt, left center back, and Austin Yearwood at left back. Coming all the way back for Mizell. Interesting to see how this team plays, even with the midweek match coming up. They make a huge number of changes. Sacramento only with 2. Full trust in the squad from manager Lesesne as Cameron Iwasa tries to set up the opportunity. Now onto his left. Leave it here short for Sam Warner. And well dealt with at the back by Padilla.
It's a difficult playing conditions for the players. Look at the light, and we can see how it interacts with the camera right there. But for the players on the right-hand side of the pitch, as we look, there's bright light in their face. There's all sorts of things flying around in the air, as we can see, bugs and what have you. And then, of course, you've got the grass covering the baseball mound. So it's a testing set of conditions for the players.
Sacramento play at a soccer-specific stadium, so they're used to the wide surface. Generally, baseball grounds, USL, the pitches are far narrower. Jaime Villarreal and Ray Sari have combined for the most part in the center of midfield. And the traditional number 6 is now on the run here. Skundrich with a decent low delivery through the penalty area. And it certainly had plenty of danger to it.
It's been put in a beautiful area, saying to somebody in the middle, attack that, get on the end of that, smash that into the back of the net for me. And that, plus the little chance we saw 3 or 4 minutes ago, has been a really good start for Sacramento. And curiously enough, their 15 goals they've scored, only 3 teams have scored less in the Western Conference, so they're not known for their scoring prowess, and yet in the first 10 minutes they've created the 2 best opportunities. The one which it all happened very quickly, but it looked like it was a fantastic chance for Sacramento.
Frater tries to win in the air. Free kick for Sacramento, won by Drew Skundrich, one of a few players in this game tonight, previously with Bethlehem Steel in USL Championship. Santi Moore on the bench for New Mexico United, played for that club as well.
And was it Matt Mahoney?
Indeed.
Also? Yeah.
Partnering tonight with Haris Hansopoulos, the Greek center back. It's mostly been one-way traffic here in this opening 10 minutes with Sacramento in the ascendancy.
You talk about the 2 centre-backs for Sacramento. Defensively, they've been very tight, the visitors here tonight. Only conceded 17, only 5 teams have conceded less.
As Gomez digs out the cross, and it was uncomfortable for Mizell, who has to punch. The strike coming in from Jordan McCrary, coming off of Akamatsu, and a throw-in for Sacramento.
Mizell doing well. He wasn't quite sure who was at the back post and took no chances. Double-fisted punch, get it away from danger, and let your defense reorganize themselves.
As McCrary takes the opportunity to throw into the area, Iwasa taking down, could still come for Skundrich. The clearance from Schmidt is off of Skundrich, but has to be played out by Austin Yearwood.
It's another moment where it's been less than well organized at the back for New Mexico. They get away with it again. That's the 2nd or 3rd time in this match so far where you just wonder if that ball could have bounced the wrong direction, if they could have been 1-0 down. So they get away with it, New Mexico, but perhaps a warning to make things a little bit tighter in defense.
Cohen, Matt Mahoney, Haris Hansopoulos. Comes from the 1st division in Finland. See players from all backgrounds in the USL Championship all over the world. 36 clubs. Technical staff having to look all over the globe for talent to fill their squads. Balia, mentioned the Open Cup. He won the competition with Houston Dynamo a year ago, appearing in the 4th round. It's taken off it there. Schmidt now Iwasa can play in Bijev. It's a bit too much on it for William Bijev, who tries to get the cross in towards Iwasa, and Mizell able to catch.
One of those moments where New Mexico could have been found out and nearly punished by that Iwasa cross.
And now Frater trying to get the attack going, but a bit too much on it in the path of David Estrada. As we have a look again at the opportunity, Iwasa and Bijev.
Yeah, Iwasa playing it wide to Bijev. He tries to get the cross and find Iwasa. Just doesn't quite get it there. It's a little bit too easy for the keeper to come and take it. But once again, you're thinking New Mexico at home, New Mexico top of the league, and yet it's been Sacramento looked more likely to score. I don't know if the conditions are against New Mexico, if the sun is in their eyes, if they're finding it difficult to play the balls in attack, but they haven't offered much as yet.
Schmidt tries to play it towards Akamatsu. You see as well conditions difficult for Sacramento. See some difficulty trying to identify the correct weight of pass. Iwasa there trying to slide in Bijev, just overcooked it a little bit. Mohammed moving for Akamatsu. He digs out the cross and towards that back post, but over everyone. And out for the throw.
The quality of crossing has to improve. That's that final ball into the box. Got to be a little bit more measured, try and pick out the players that can cause danger and finish off the move.
Gomez taken off it in a fair manner, according to the referee, Osmanovic, and cleared by Hansopoulos. Well played there by Iwasa, who's normally plying his trade as traditional number 10. He's their top scorer, just invited to play that bit further forward, as it's to the feet of Ray Sari. Now Bijev with a lovely bit of skill there. So Akamatsu and Yearwood doing just about enough. Now Akamatsu trying to find the way to play out. Leave it for the clearance from Mohammed. Now Kevon Frater, who's without his goal-scoring partner, Santi Moar. Kind of all on Frater tonight, who has 10 goals to lead the league. Player of the month in April. Should probably go without saying, as another solid delivery is in, that time from Bijev on that right-hand side. Iwasa again making the near post run. And Sacramento in the opening quarter of an hour are carrying a threat.
They certainly are. What a good ball in, right into the near post, danger area. Good run for Iwasa. It's basically saying to Iwasa, get on the end of this and you will score. Fantastic position to put the ball in, and Iwasa's so close to getting that touch.
For New Mexico, they made 7 changes. They had a match in midweek and are looking ahead towards a match in midweek in the U.S. Open Cup against MLS opposition. Is there a bit too much mentally happening for New Mexico to have started well here?
Well, certainly when you make a lot of changes, especially as many as 7, it's difficult because you do get a consistency amongst players. And Frater was alongside Sandoval last match out. Now he's alongside Ryan Williams, or Ryan Williams is slightly behind him. So, you know, the chopping and changing does make it difficult to get that understanding going. But then New Mexico have made regular changes throughout the season. It seems to be something they're fairly comfortable with. So, is it Sacramento have just come out firing? Perhaps it's a new Sacramento.
Possible, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they're excited about that match against San Jose Earthquakes. Their season could turn and become a really successful one. And as we mentioned, a win takes them comfortably into the playoff places. So a lot for Sacramento to play for here tonight.
These two teams will play again in Northern California, July the 24th. First ever meeting. Not surprised might they be to find top of the table as Bijev again delivering towards that back post. Work to do here for Sam Warner. Leave it for Villarreal, who strike! And as always, sailing into the curse.
And it gets the expected applause from the home fans, the desultory applause. But why not have a dip? You never know, it might fly in the back of the net. And certainly, if you didn't know better, you would think it was Sacramento at home, playing confidently, and New Mexico trying to find their feet.
Have a look at Simon Elliott, former academy coach at Sacramento. It's a national team captain with the New Zealand national side, the All Whites. Mexico coming forward. Well dealt with by Sacramento and clear.
Difficult conditions, isn't it, on that far side? And we can see just with our cameras how bright that light is in the face of some of the players, and there seems to be a lot of bugs flying in the air as well. So here we go with the lights again. It's conditions that make it difficult for players to perform at their full potential.
There's an idea there from Estrada, but cut out. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship in many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com.
Let's get rowdy until 20 minutes and 19 seconds.
One thing about Sacramento, you have to say after this good start, if you don't take the chances that do come your way against a team that is top of the table and scores for fun, you might regret it down the line. So as Kavan Frater wins a corner. And certainly Simon Elliott will be thinking, oh, it would be nice if we'd have maybe tucked away one of those chances so far. Let's see what they can do at the set piece situation here. New Mexico, decent set piece into the box, cause all sorts of problems.
Now a corner brought to you by Crown Plaza, and it'll be Akamatsu to deliver. It's in towards the near post and easily dealt with. Second ball still on, and catching practice in the end for Josh Cohen.
Taken by Josh Cohen, just tests the ground and varies a little bit under his feet there. Some of it has been laid differently. Never easy for a goalkeeper for going backwards over ground that changes in its texture. These are tough conditions for anyone trying to catch a ball in the air with sunlight in your eyes. Very easy to make an error. Look at that crowd, by the way, at the background. What a brilliant crowd for an expansion team.
Yeah, they've done really well in the community to get the fans on side. And you certainly see across the United States that you get that initial wave for that first ever match, and it's a novelty and it's new and it's different, but they're sustained. The best average attendance in the USL Championship. And these are the kind of figures that catch eyes and, most importantly, keep people coming back. It's one of those things that begets itself. Once there are crowds developing, then more people want to go and be part of that crowd, which then leads to bigger crowds.
Absolutely, and it is. I mean, it's been a fantastic job by the USL and, of course, the MLS in terms of building soccer in this country and the crowds as well. And I mean, you're getting 12,000. Is that about the average for New Mexico? 12,000. There's a lot of clubs in England in the lower divisions who would very happily settle for 12,000. So, you know, this is comparable with some of the best leagues in Europe, all the way down from top to the next level down. It's obviously England does get huge crowds, but the Portuguese crowds and what have you. I mean, it's been a fantastic job by the US soccer, and it's getting bigger and bigger every year.
New clubs entering, and as FC Cincinnati departs, who are the standout story in terms of attendance going to Major League Soccer, new clubs come in like New Mexico United and make waves. But Sacramento, fair play to them as well. They've been at this for 5 years and still regularly sell out. Papa Murphy's Park is now chance on here. Villian Bijev into the penalty area. Tug of the shirt from behind from Schmidt. Now Bijev trying to get turned. Will try and slide in Warner instead. Comes from Iwasa. And the tackle was late and needed from New Mexico United at the back. And Mizell able to claim, but again, Sacramento, the side carrying the danger at the moment.
They certainly were, and Bijev was just talking to the referee saying, "Ref, I got held, I got pulled back," but the ref has played on. Bijev there showing some great skills, gets it across to Iwasa. He doesn't quite connect it, does he? Does the turn really well, but the shot on target just lacked any power. But you're right, once again, it's Sacramento who look the more likely to score.
There by Villian Bijev, the ex-Liverpool player. Signed as a kid, played in their reserve side for going abroad, including to Fortuna Dusseldorf in Germany.
Some good pedigree there, Liverpool and Dusseldorf. And obviously, we've seen that already, how good and sharp Bijev is.
Ball over the top towards Kavan Frater, his strike. There's always odds against, but for the league's top scorer, it's never too long of odds that he's putting the ball in the back of the net.
And that's the danger, isn't it? We're saying Sacramento, you're getting all the chances, and from nothing, that man creates an effort that doesn't go too far wide. And that's the danger that New Mexico, it's a threat that they have. They can just counter-attack, bang, back of the net. When you think you've been on top, you can find yourself 1-0 down. He doesn't quite catch it, does he? He just pulls it a little bit, Kavan Frater. But with his pace, Sacramento have to be very, very careful on these counter-attacks.
Kamatsu doing well to win the ball. Now, Tony Soler. It's to Salih Muhammad on the evening. And now, chance on here for New Mexico United in the penalty area. Sacramento just about getting the job done. And they've won themselves a throw-in on halfway. Skundrich the one forward. Playing Iwasa. Almost looks for that pocket of space. Now Sam Warner cut onto his left for the goal against San Antonio. Now towards that byline, his strike. Always from a difficult angle, and Mizell had it covered.
Yeah, Sam Warner does so well, but then at the very end with a tight angle, is it not better to try and smash it across the box? Maybe you get an own goal, maybe one of your players gets on the end of it. But from that tight angle to beat the goalkeeper at his near post, extremely difficult to do. Another good opportunity, perhaps gone a begging there for Sacramento. Look at those fans still bouncing up and down. And to be fair, New Mexico have just worked their way back into the game a little bit in the last 5 minutes with a couple of efforts either on goal or near. So maybe the changes are beginning to settle in. 7 changes is a lot. Maybe they've sort of figured out who goes where and how.
This will be a free kick here given to New Mexico United for an aerial challenge. You mentioned from the crowd that maybe some English clubs would be happy with the attendance New Mexico get. It actually wouldn't be bottom of the Premier League. AFC Bournemouth only average around 10,000. So New Mexico United have a Premier League level attendance.
Wow, that's incredible. But I'm sure if you went to the Portuguese league, there were 1 or 2 teams that would battle to get 10,000, maybe the same lower down in the French league. So that's the amazing thing about soccer in this country. It really is getting, it is growing good roots and is getting stronger by the year.
And New Mexico will be hosting English opposition at this ground. Newly relegated Cardiff City will be playing a preseason friendly in New Mexico. So will be Akamatsu over the free kick. Lofts towards the back post. The header is on for the central defender Justin Schmidt, who came forward and harmlessly out of play in the end. Goal kick for Sacramento.
And I'm assuming this friendly against Cardiff is going to be July, a preseason friendly?
Yes.
Cardiff from a cold, wet part of England in Wales coming to New Mexico in July. Are you serious?
Certainly make for interesting viewing for Neil Warnock's men. It's funny to read. So the supporters group here in New Mexico call themselves the Curse. It is named after the New Mexico governor, their first ever governor, named Lew Wallace, who was sent from Indiana by then President Rutherford B. Hayes to explore New Mexico. And he wrote back, quote, "All calculations based on our experiences elsewhere fail in New Mexico." Which is certainly quite the mantra for a group of supporters, but I don't know why Cardiff City playing in New Mexico in July made me think of that.
Well,
all experiences elsewhere don't apply in New Mexico.
Well, I tell you what, it might apply to soccer, because if you lost most of the expansion sides in the USL, they'll say, oh, it takes a couple of years, it's difficult, the crowds don't start supporting you, blah, blah, blah. And here you have New Mexico with the biggest crowds, top of the league, the 2 top goal scorers. They've hit the ground sprinting.
As Gomez on this left-hand side, approaching the penalty area towards that byline, takes another couple of touches. The ball did eventually run out of play. Flag up on the far side. The referee is allowing play to continue, and finally they'll stop. Goal kick.
Once again, such a danger, Sacramento. Shannon Gomez getting down that left-hand side. I thought for a second there was a potential of a penalty. It looked like he was about to go down under a tackle. And as we're looking at Bijev there, he's created a ton of opportunities as well with his touches. So really has been a very impressive nearly first 30 minutes from Sacramento Republic. But scores are still level.
That's where lack of a dominant number 9 could be felt for Sacramento Republic. Iwasa is a goal scorer, but usually from midfield. With a player like Kevon Frater, Sacramento Republic could be hitting the heights.
Absolutely. I mean, Iwasa's getting 5 out of 10 from 10 games from midfield. That's a fantastic return from a midfielder, but you're right, it needs a dedicated number 9 who scores regularly.
The aforementioned Frater trying to slide in Ryan Williams, but dealt with. Cohen clearing and taken down well by Iwasa. Villarreal. Trying to slide it through towards Bijev, but cut out well. New Mexico want to play narrow and crowd out what little space there is. Lovely dummy there from Frater, trying to allow Ryan Williams to play. He apologizing for giving the ball away. See Frater just playing with the confidence of a striker in form. 3 seasons in USL with 3 different clubs prior to arriving. And most scored 12 goals in 2017 as Frater's again on with a chance. Got stuck behind his feet, and Bijev now trying to play out. That's a great job to find Sam Warner on the trot. There's Sam Warner crossing in. It came off the chest of Skundrich, and appeals for handball from Mizell unfounded, but harmlessly away in the end.
Yes, a good counter-attack again from Sacramento. They find space, they get Warner on the ball, they get a good cross into the box yet again. You've got to think that eventually one of these is going to go in, because they're creating really good opportunities, are the visiting team.
See how on the infield section of the grass, the ball just dies a bit. That dead patch of grass. See it from field level there.
Challenging conditions for players, but it's the same for both teams, so just get on with it and manage it as best you can.
As McCrary taking advantage of the narrow field to send a long throw in. Justin Schmidt having to win, and the referee has awarded a penalty. Elvis Osmanovic pointing to his left arm, saying there was handball off the central defender Justin Schmidt, and he's pointed to the spot.
Wow, big decision from the referee, and Schmidt's not happy. He's arguing the case. Difficult to see without seeing it again. I was wondering if it was initially for a pull, because the player who was marking sort of went down as if he was pulled, but I didn't see, and the referee seems to be suggesting arms over the shoulder. I didn't see enough, really, but maybe the referee saw something else. Elvis Osmanovic, he's given it.
Cameron Iwasa, aware of the armband, and the top scorer for Sacramento Republic. Going to try and give them the lead as we have another look.
Look at Justin Schmidt's arm. This is now after it's been given, but Justin Schmidt's arms were over the attacker, and the attacker went down as if he was pulled. Maybe that's, I don't know if he sold it to the referee or the referee saw it. Either way, it's given. Now it's down to Cody Mizell.
Try and deny Cameron Iwasa. And here's Iwasa from the spot, trying to get the keeper going the wrong way, and he does. Slotting into the bottom corner. Sacramento, very much in keeping with how this game has gone, are in front.
Good penalty, well taken, confident, waited for the keeper to move to Iwasa, and then puts it on the opposite side of the goal. And that's a brilliantly taken penalty, and can't say it's against the run of play, because Sacramento deserve to be ahead. It's just whether that's a fair penalty, difficult to say. Have a look, slows it down, goes the opposite way, and ensures that they get their lead. I'd like to see the actual moment again to see whether that really is a penalty or not. But without VAR, not much you can do.
The referee seemed pretty convinced. And he didn't also really see too strong of protest from Schmidt either. Either way, though, Sacramento Republic have probably been the side on top in this first half. The balance of play, and now have their reward.
And I'm guessing after what you said earlier, that New Mexico have been in the lead so many times and dropped points, I don't think they've been behind that often, have they? So this could be a relatively new experience for these players.
Can't say it's a decent idea in the path of Soler, but low one back by Sacramento. Now Iwasa taken down by Muhammad, and referee giving a free kick. And now the fans might just be on this referee a little bit after he gave the penalty. But I can tell you, Gary, New Mexico yet to be trailing at halftime. So if it stays like this for 12 more minutes, it would be a first.
Would be a first, and I'm sure Troy Lesane as the coach wouldn't be against it. I mean, nobody wants to be losing, don't get me wrong. But he's thinking, well, okay, this is a test for my team. I want to see how they respond. I want to see if they get stuck in. Can they manage being behind? Can they be patient and clever and not get drawn into lunging tackles and getting angry? And he'll be looking very carefully at these players who've had a great start so far to the season.
The ball slid in towards Gomez, who went down. Be difficult to award another penalty there.
No. Then you'd have to find a way to sneak out of the ground if you did.
The Trinidad and Tobago native. Yeah, playing professionally in this country at age
Kevon Frater
19
getting
is,
involved.
yeah, Frater getting involved, and now the referee is going to have to assess discipline. It was the center back Harris involved. It is going to be yellow. And that might be perhaps a bit lenient circumstances.
Got to be careful, New Mexico. As I say, falling behind is an unusual experience for them. This is where you have to keep cool. You're going to get goaded from the other side. They're going to push and shove and try and get you to overreact. You can't bite. Just got to let it relax, and you'll get back in the game and you'll get opportunities. So now Kevon Frater obviously has to be super careful not to do anything else to get a second yellow.
And that Citel yellow card was issued to Kevon Frater.
At least we seem to have lost the glare from the sun, so the conditions a little bit easier for the players and for our cameraman.
Must not have been a pleasant opening half hour staring directly into the sun. It'll be handball against Tony Soler. The fans continue to show their frustration. There might not be an influencer of supporters to be in full voice more than a referee they're not fond of. Perhaps wonder as the frustration begins to set in. This is not the level of performance they become accustomed to, which might be unfair on an expansion club, but
absolutely. One loss all season. As I said, I don't think the coaching staff will be that upset, because they want to see how their players react under these circumstances, being behind, which is a rarity for New Mexico.
Now a free kick for Sacramento Republic. Eventually add to their lead. It's a decent ball in, but perhaps a bit too much on it. And catching practice for Mizell.
A little bit too easy for the goalkeeper. Needed to drop on the middle of the sort of penalty spot so the keeper couldn't come for it and then try and get a flick on, but in the end the keeper gathers.
Williams leaving it there for Estrada. There is the Mexican with Bahia. Compton, California. All the way back for Rashid Tete. We can tell you that you can follow New Mexico United and Sacramento Republic, as well as the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN Plus, home of USL Championship and League One, as well as MLS, UFC, and much, much more, including the Lamar Hunt US Open Cup coming up this week. Join the over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN Plus and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Gary, I know you're an ESPN Plus fan because you've asked me for my password every now and again.
Don't give out the secrets. Actually, you know what? I am actually a subscriber now because of the cricket, funny enough.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Growing up in South Africa and England, got to watch the cricket.
I would need a full-scale tutorial on how cricket works. I hear the jargon sometimes on BBC reports, and I haven't the slightest clue of what they're talking about.
It's mostly for the soccer you want to get ESPN Plus. The soccer, and especially this soccer here, is so wonderful to watch. Just wondering now, Kevon Frater, be careful, don't go bumping goalkeepers, you're on a yellow. And if they lost Kevon Frater, then they would be in trouble. Mind you, a couple of good options on the bench. Sandoval and, of course, Santi Moa. So
you have 16 league goals and 7 league assists on the bench in the form of Chris Weehan, Santi Moa, and Devin Sandoval. I would imagine if the scoreline stays the same, would all be coming on in the second half. The options available to Troy Lesane, who will not be pleased if you call it squad rotation, which is generally the phrase for a match like this where you're giving that quality of player a trip to the bench, but it just says use the whole of my squad. I've got 23 players, and they're all going to play. Particularly in moments like these where we've got 4 matches in a week and a half.
It's a very sensible thing for a coach to do, because you're right, it's a lot of games, and if you want to be up for the Colorado game midweek, you probably need to make a whole bunch of changes. It's just very, very difficult to get cohesion when you're constantly changing defenders and midfielders and strikers. They get partnerships going. So I do really respect the coach, Lesane, and what he's trying to do, and he's done it fantastically well so far this season, but it's just not easy to do, that's all.
Free kick for New Mexico with a little more than 5 minutes to play in the first half. Frater trying to win the ball. He's been a bit starved of service. You wonder if that is part of the frustration that has led to his yellow card.
Could very well be. I mean, logically speaking, if you're if you're New Mexico, all you want to do is get the ball to Van Frater. That should be your #1 objective, sliding it in over the top, anything for him, because he's the most likely to get you that goal. But even the midfield haven't had much opportunity in that Sacramento half, and again, perhaps credit to Sacramento Republic.
Trying to win in the air, perhaps a bit too much left on it from Skundrich. You see Padilla a bit frustrated. He just wants to get on with it a little bit more. The build up a bit languid from New Mexico United. Now again, Mizell. This pitch small both in terms of length and width. Long ball like Mizell's to make it all the way to the penalty area. Frater unable to take down. You see, at the moment, he just looks a bit disconnected from the game, doesn't he?
He does, he does. There's a lot of thinking to be done in the second half for Troy Lesane in terms of who he does bring on and how he gets his team going. But he's still going to want the team that's out there to find their own solutions to the problem. They're coming into this match. It's taken a while, but you're just seeing a little bit more confidence on the ball from New Mexico, a little bit more interplay as we're seeing it now. And maybe they can build on that in these last few minutes here, and certainly at the start of the second half.
Akamatsu carrying on, appeals for handball, not given. Akamatsu trying to figure out a space to turn or play a cross in, and after facing 2 defenders for about 40 yards, Jordan McCrary finally putting it out to touch. And a chance for a long throw for Austin Yearwood. Doesn't have a great deal of space on that far side. We'll just take it short here with Akamatsu. 4 years at the University of Denver before arriving here in New Mexico. Well, there are a few players coming straight from college into this New Mexico side. Salih Muhammad. Padilla. Their longest run of possession, just as I say that. Muhammad nearly giving away.
Yep, commentator's curse.
They managed to keep it though via the throw. Here's Estrada. Nice MLS experience with Seattle Sounders. 7 in total in terms of appearances. And Soler, his touch was heavy, and he went heavy into the tackle as well with Bijev. And frustrated to have given away a free kick. Bijev feeling the brunt into that.
We call it dead leg by the looks of it. A knee into the thigh or the buttock area, and he's not happy with it, Bijev. Let's have a look at it again. He went down in a bit of a heap. Watch that leg, just there's a little bit of a connection there. He'll be fine. He'll bounce back up. He might also just be settling for a little bit of, slowing the game down. Certainly New Mexico been getting to get into it. Oh, maybe he's hurt more than we think. But certainly a little bit of a breather now. Just a couple of minutes before half-time would suit Sacramento. 1-0 up. Got to say deservedly, although I'm not sure that the penalty was a penalty, but it was given. So there you go. End of story. But I think they've had the better of this first half.
We'll have a moment as Bijev receives treatment. Let's have a look at the shout for the penalty. Here's coming together with Schmidt and Iwasa.
There was nothing in terms of pulling down. That's what the refs seemed to suggest, that both shoulders or arms of Schmidt was on the back of Iwasa, but not enough for a penalty, but credit Iwasa, he sold it. He went down as if he'd been pulled, and that made up the referee's mind.
I don't think he was appealing, though, which makes that a bit more curious. He did go to ground, but I don't think he was shouting for a penalty. But the referee's given it, and now has certainly earned the derision from the New Mexico supporters for the remainder of the evening.
It has, and I guess it's a warning to all central defenders not to do what Schmidt did, which is leave two arms draped over a striker, because the chances are A, they will go down, and B, every once in a while a referee will think that you have given away the foul. So just keep your arms to yourself, keep them away from the striker, which is difficult to do because, of course, you leave your face open to getting a head in your chin, which is very painful. That's why you do keep your arms there to push the attacker away. So I wasn't the centre half. I'm not saying it's easy.
Just as I imagine centre halves would say, goalkeeping isn't easy.
They wouldn't have a clue. It's a totally different position.
It's one of those coming togethers in the penalty area, as ball's played long there, that generally the feeling is that in the VAR era will go away a little bit, because those are the decisions that generally are missed in live time. But we don't have VAR in this match, and the referee has given that for a fairly simple coming together in the area. There's not a ton in that.
No, there wasn't. It's what you call a soft penalty at the end of the day, and normally it doesn't go against a home side. I'm not saying for a moment that referees are biased, but home teams generally get better decisions because of the crowd and the noise, and it's just human fallibility. They've given it against New Mexico, the referee. It's a brave decision to give. I just sometimes think you have to be 100% sure before giving a penalty. But nonetheless, 1-0, and as mentioned, I think it deserved, because they had a bunch of other chances, Sacramento, that maybe they could have scored from.
Mizell doing well to catch and trying to get the counterattack going with one long ball towards Frater, who couldn't quite take down. In the hands of Cohen, we are in Orange Theory stoppage time. Brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. We're in the orange zone now. And for New Mexico United, perhaps some new ideas needed in the second half. And you wonder as well if they've wasted the half where they're heading to the end with the good section of grass. In the second half, they'll be heading into the dead infield.
Well, it's a dead infield, but it's tougher for defenders often, because they're the ones, if they make a mistake, yeah, so maybe it will suit New Mexico. And of course, you bring on Santi Moa, and he's got the ability to change his game completely for the home side.
As Villarreal lofts in, trying to catch it on the volley. And that was an audacious idea from Sam Warner, perhaps full of confidence after scoring that cracking goal against San Antonio last weekend. It didn't quite come off for Sam Warner.
Yeah, I agree with you. That was such a fantastic goal against San Antonio. He's entitled to have a go, and he's entitled to mess it up. I don't mind. He's got the confidence to try and do something to excite us all, and didn't quite come off on that occasion.
As that is the end of the first half. The penalty given against Justin Schmidt, converted by Cameron Iwasa, and for the first time in 2019 and the first time in club history, New Mexico United trail at the break. After 45 minutes, it's New Mexico United 0, Sacramento Republic 1. Let's have a look at the shout for the penalty. Schmidt catching a bit too much of Iwasa. Referee awarding the pen, and Iwasa, with his 6th of the year, gives the visitors the lead. Mexico United, for the first time in 2019 and for the first time in club history, trail at the break by a goal to nil. Cameron Iwasa converting from the spot after winning a penalty off of New Mexico United central defender Justin Schmidt. On Wednesday night, a similarly packed house here at Isotopes Park. It was Pride on the Pitch night. It's part of a 1-1 draw with Oklahoma City Energy. Some really cool scenes here. If you have a look there after the goal scored by Devin Sandoval. He draws the plaudits from his teammates, and look at the scenes here at Isotopes Park. It is just such a cool thing to see in USL. Fans engaging on this level and packing the stands on a Wednesday night in USL League play.
They're brilliant fans, and it's an unbelievable support they've got in their expansion year. And the fans who support them even when they're struggling. We've seen that in the first half. So very lucky New Mexico to have that group of fans.
You fight for us, so we fight for you. The sign in the stands, and New Mexico United will have to fight in this second half. They trail by a goal to nil at the break.
Brown to find Lacroix. Now it's Musa. Oh, what a hit! Ryan Brown. Oh, that is electric from Phoenix on the break. Shot. Offside.
Defensive juggernaut for both of these squads. Here we go again. Steinberger on the turn. It's going to fall through. Allen! Just like that, it's 3-3. Alex Bassetti making a darting run. It finds its way all the way to Bassetti. Lays it off. Still an opportunity. Brown! Taylor again. The menacing attack. Taylor lets it go. And there's the opener for North Carolina FC.
Frankie comes inside on Watson. Acres of space here for the left wing back. Forbes now pinching in space to shoot. He drives it and beats far. Toes first Van Okel. Will this seal a spot? The fourth round. Number 4 delivers. 90th minute, Louisville leads at home again.
Into the 6-yard area, and it's Cicerone who wins in the air and restores St. Louis FC's 2-goal advantage.
So here comes Wynn. Is this onside? It is. A chance for Nashville to equalize, and they do! Carlton Belmar. Charleston into this round with 2 goals. And now, he sends them into the 4th round. Charleston with the upset.
Gonna tie his shoe while action goes on around him. Oh, good chance here for Lima.
Up against the top scorer. Frater puts it in. New Mexico United in front. That's kept in play. Skundred's the initial effort. Another cross. Headed in! Winner Bonoma at the death!
And 4th round Open Cup action on offer Tuesday and Wednesday night on the networks of ESPN+. Check that out where you're watching this match right now. New Mexico United in USL Championship play, trail by a goal to nil at the break. As now take a look at a bit more from around the USL. Saw the Open Cup coming up, and we'll see what they can do on Wednesday night. Meanwhile, for Tampa Bay Rowdies, you see they're continuing a terrific start to the campaign in the Eastern Conference. Tonight, actually, only losing for the first time at home to North Carolina FC, snapping their unbeaten run at 13. And for Loudoun United, a first ever victory in charge of the new USL Championship club for Ryan Martin, the new head coach after Richie Williams departs for New England Revolution. And internationally, 26 players from Championship and League One level in the CONCACAF Gold Cup representing their national sides.
That's fantastic. That's a lot of quality that we're seeing in the USL Championship, and look forward to watching the Gold Cup coming up and Copa America, of course.
And you wonder if Kevon Frater might eventually earn himself a call up with Jamaica as he continues to dominate this league. The Jamaican has been in their squad but never featured fully at international level. Let's take a look at the live table right now. Would see New Mexico United lose for just the second time all year. Phoenix rising after a fantastic 5-0 victory last night. Currently sitting second, but level on points with Portland and El Paso. El Paso are on a terrific run of form. They lead at the break by 1-0 against LA Galaxy 2. San Antonio beat Reno earlier tonight 3-2. Austin Bold level with Portland Timbers 2 at 2 apiece. That one also gone final. Colorado Springs with a 3-0 victory against Tacoma.
Look at Sacramento, will jump into 5th spot if they should hold on to this win. Up there on 20 points with a whole bunch of other clubs. So could all turn around for Sacramento if they can hold on to it.
Yeah, it's quite remarkable. Sacramento coming into this match 11th and could be 5th in the live table. Right now, only 3 points in the live table, separating them in 5th and Tulsa Roughnecks in 12th. And so things can turn around very quickly, including in the second half. Again, you score at the break. New Mexico United 0, Sacramento Republic 1. We're back with first half highlights and second half kickoff next.
Hey, where's Roush and Justin?
I don't know, bro. Yo, this is crazy. Y'all gotta come check this out. Come on, come on.
New Mexico United 0, Sacramento Republic 1. Chris Whittingham, Kerry Bailey here for commentary of this one in the USL Championship from Isotopes Park in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Brilliant crowd on hand for this one, but they'd like to see a response from their side. They made 7 changes from the team that drew 1-1 against OKC Energy in midweek. It has not been the best of starts for New Mexico United. We're going to bring you our first half highlights. And the chances would almost all be going right to left. First, Drew Skundrich with a dangerous ball through. Shannon Gomez with a lofted delivery needed, punching away from Mizell. Then Iwasa would slide in Villian Bijev, whose cross towards Iwasa was dangerous.
It was, but a little bit too close to the goalkeeper. If he could have pulled it further back, but it was one opportunity after another here. That's a fantastic ball from Bijev at the near post for Iwasa. He nearly gets on the end of that. It's all Sacramento, isn't it?
Yeah, one-way traffic for the visitors. Iwasa here getting onto his right, but the tackle in there from Muhammad just about putting him off. Mizell able to claim. Here would be one of a few opportunities for New Mexico. Kevon Frater dragging wide. Sam Warner as well trying to beat Mizell at the near post. Here would be the penalty. Schmidt getting a bit too much of Iwasa in the judgment of the referee, and Iwasa placing coolly for 1-0.
Yeah, a tough penalty to be given against you, but in fairness to Sacramento Republic, look at all these highlights. It's the away team who are trying everything, maybe not always successfully, and certainly they deserve to be 1-0 up. Just not quite sure that the penalty was the correct decision. But again, look at the stats. One shot by New Mexico from Kavan Freighter wide, and it wasn't on target. 6 for Sacramento. Either way, I think they deserve to be up by 1-0.
But in your judgment, that penalty should not have been?
I didn't see it. I really did. Yes, certainly Justin Schmidt had his arms on top of Iwasa, but not enough to put him off, not enough to bring him down. I didn't even see Iwasa appeal that much. But again, maybe the referee saw something we didn't see. And I just feel it was a little bit on the harsh side. Penalty should be given when you're absolutely sure. Either way, it's been given, and part of the game is to accept it. The New Mexico must come out second half and find a way to get back in this match.
And now for Troy Lacine, who's made some changes to his starting 11 from midweek. And now manager Lacine is going to have to figure out the best way forward here for his New Mexico United side. And is it bringing on his talismanic players in Moar and Weehan and Sandoval? Is it perhaps a bit of a crutch to bring those players on, or do you want Estrada and Muhammad and Soler and Akamatsu in midfield to figure this out, gain a foothold in the game, and get New Mexico United going forward?
You do up to a point. I think up to about the 60th minute, the coach will probably say, you guys figure this out. You guys show me if you have the ability to get back in this match, if you have the character to get back. But ultimately, you need the points. To be fair, they've had too many draws, New Mexico, and they're in danger of slipping off that first spot. So I would expect to see Santi Moa in particular, and maybe Sandoval as well, towards the end of the match, the last 15, 20, maybe even as much as 30 minutes, if New Mexico was still struggling to get that first goal.
You see the teams that back out on the field. Mexico United in their black and yellows. You now take you through some of the scores from around USL Championship, particularly in the Western Conference. Colorado Springs won earlier tonight by 3-0 over Tacoma Defiance. Jordan Burt, Logan Dorsey, and Ismailia Jome with the goals. Austin Bold 2, Portland Timbers 2, Andre Lima. Chris Turpak on the score sheet for Austin. Meanwhile, for Portland Timbers 2, Eric Williamson and Todd Wharton have that game level at 2 at the Speedway in Austin. San Antonio 3, Reno 1868 2. San Antonio coming back from 1-0 down, getting a pair of goals in a pair of minutes. Ethan Bryan in the 61st, Jose Gallegos in the 62nd. I believe, if I remember correctly, from commentating the European Cup match, as a teenager, I think 15 or 16 Gallegos, scoring for San Antonio as they beat Reno. Actually, they came back from 2-0 down in that match. El Paso 1, LA Galaxy 2-0 at the break. Going on right now, opening half hour in Salt Lake City. Real Monarchs are already 3-0 up on Rio Grande Valley, and 2 matches just getting started. Fresno 0, OKC Energy 0, who drew with New Mexico United earlier this week. Las Vegas Lights 0, Orange County SC 0. Your full look around the Western Conference. You mentioned the table. It would certainly close in pretty quickly on New Mexico United if they can't manage a result tonight. They'd be 2 points clear of 3 sides tied on 23 points, 4 points clear of 2 sides on 21, 5 points clear, including against Sacramento, of 2 sides on 20, 2 on 19. It is a truly bunched up table in the Western Conference as we're underway here in the second half. And straight away, a heavy tackle coming in from Villian Bijev on Santi Moar, who is a second half introduction. Straight on that left-hand side, and welcome to the match as well by Villian Bijev. Moar immediately trying to carry some danger as Moar coming on as a substitution, brought to you by REDW CPA and advisors. There's no substitution for integrity. A full confirmation. That changed in a moment as Akamatsu tries to slide in Williams, and Williams had drifted off.
Well, different team already, isn't it? Santi Moa came on a bit earlier than I thought he might have come on, but Troy Lacine's probably saying, okay, we need the points in this match. Let's be positive. And already the crowd are up for it. The players are more creative, and maybe Santi Moa is the spark that's going to turn this New Mexico team around.
So it's actually a double change here at the break. And it's also coming on Juan Guzman. And it's David Estrada who makes way along with Tony Soler. So Troy Lacine did not like what he saw from his side in the first half and makes the halftime changes, a pair of them, and goes for players and more in Guzman, who played a majority of their matches. It is A free kick given against Moar.
But he's pumped up, Moar, isn't he? And that's what this team need. They need some passion. They need some excitement. They need players who are going to push the envelope here and get them back in it. Players who want to be winners. And Santi Moar already shouting the odds and getting stuck in. And I think he could be the spark for the side. He certainly has been this season.
Scored 7 times in the club's first 7 matches in USL. And remarkable, and that's a lovely bit of skill there from Moar as well. He carries on his way, Santi Moar. Advantage given. Now he's going to slide in Kevon Frater. This looks much more like the New Mexico United we've seen in the opening 15 games of this campaign, as Frater's strike takes a deflection. And now the fans in full voice as New Mexico have won a corner.
Yeah, the fans are wonderful support. Absolutely brilliant. But very dependent on Santi Moar, which is a concern for the coach. He has made a massive difference already, but you want the team to be able to play without him, which they haven't really done in the first half.
It will be a Crown Plaza corner kick. Santi Moar, 7 goals in their first 7 matches, joining from Bethlehem Steel in 2 USL Championship seasons, scored 6 in both of them. Already on 9. Akamatsu from the corner, lofted in, and it's straight at Josh Cohen, who can catch fairly easily.
No pressure on the goalkeeper, so it was an easy catch. Maybe not the best of corners when you get too close to a keeper who's what, 6'3", 4, even 5. He's a huge keeper, so you probably want to be putting those crosses a little bit further away from him.
You wonder as well for Moar coming on, it's a decent idea is Meiselas to come off his line before Iwasa can get on the other end of that bit of service. But for Moar, knowing that he's only going to play for 45 minutes, he can perhaps put even more into it than he normally does.
Yep, certainly he can. And when you come on when your team's 1-0 down, you sort of have the sense that you could be the person who sparks the turnaround. So that's a nice little confidence booster for him. And 45 minutes will do him no harm. He'll still have plenty of energy for Colorado Rapids on Wednesday. So he won't be scared to give it a good shot for 45 minutes.
That, of course, would be part of the thinking for Troy Lesesne. Said my owner wouldn't like it if I said I was prioritizing one over the other, but it is still quite a proposition for Guy Lesesne, who's managed as an assistant in the championship with Charlotte Independence. Get to take over a club full-time, build it from the ground up, and now in a few months' time you're facing MLS opposition. It has to be something that players and managers alike dream of.
I think Colorado Rapids will be looking at this New Mexico side, and certainly maybe not this first half, to be absolutely honest, but in previous matches, say this is not going to be an easy game. And they would have noticed the difference that Santi Moar has made already, and probably thinking, well, if we put a defensive midfielder on him, if we shut him down, do we shut New Mexico down? They'll be trying to make a plan to counter what has been an incredibly successful New Mexico side.
Great first touch there from Austin Yearwood, charging on. His delivery is towards the edge of that area, well taken down by Akamatsu. Here's Akamatsu off the frame of the goal.
Great strike from Akamatsu, really brilliant, brings it down straight away, tees himself up and thumps that against the post. What a difference in the second half from this New Mexico side. Let's have a look at it again. It's a good ball. It's driven in well, picked out. But look, he picks him out because it goes straight to Akamatsu. He kills it, tees it up, opens up the angle. Man, that's a great strike. And a really, really good cross there from Yearwood.
Should Akamatsu, though, from that range have perhaps gone far post, go across him, trying to beat him at his near post and hit with power. It was well taken.
Possibly, but when you hit the posts, it's close, and I think we have to give him credit for getting close. And in one effort, we've seen more than we saw in the whole first half from New Mexico.
Williams to the feet of Frater. He did brilliantly describe as well how Yearwood picked that ball out, because when you see across, that's not across the 6-yard area or trying to find a runner, you go, well, he's mishit that. No, that was spot on towards Akamatsu.
It certainly was. The man with Ball in his hands just there, Yearwood.
As McCrary going through and giving away a free kick.
This is an important spell for Sacramento as well, as they see this new energized New Mexico side and think, okay, well, how do we deal with them? How do we deal with Santi Moa? Is Kevon Freder going to get more service? There's a lot of thinking for Sacramento to do as well, as the referee has a little word here.
Pablo Guzman entering the game, only appeared in 6 matches a year ago, dealing with injury in Oklahoma City, OKC Energy. Appearing as a sub for the first time in the league for New Mexico, starting 12 times. Pretty much the preferred central midfielder for Troy Lesesne. Here's Freder, trying to allow the trajectory of the ball to guide him. Back to goal. Once more into the play. Will now switch it. Here's Manny Padilla. Akamatsu switch flanks. He's playing on Moore's left in the first half. Padilla leaving it. The delivery in from Muhammad. And it took an awkward bounce there from McCrary. And now Moore in a bit of space. Always wants to get onto his right. Here's Moore! Cohen spilled it. Akamatsu has a big swing at it and struck the goalkeeper. Sacramento players asking for a booking for Ken Akamatsu, but you see the danger of Moore cutting onto his right.
Absolutely brilliant from Moa. Cuts in here once and again, a second time, hits the ball. Josh Cohen spills it initially, but is super brave to get in there amongst all the flying boots and cleats, and eventually holds on to the ball. The goalkeeper taking a few knocks in the process, but this man Moa has made a massive difference to this team. He's driving, and you can see the fans are responding to him as well. He's driving at the back four. He's opening up opportunities. Kevon Freder is finding a bit more space. And I get the sense that New Mexico can yet turn this game around, but I think credit to Josh Cohen. He dived right in there, not a one set of boots, but 2 sets, and I think he's taken a knock for his trouble.
I think swing there from Akamatsu is perhaps a bit too much, considering that the ball was on there. If he just kind of takes a poke at it, might at least be able to have it come off of Cohen for a third chance. Catches a bit of the Sacramento keeper.
I don't think as a keeper you can complain. If you drop that ball, then you know the forwards are going to come sliding in. And to be fair, they didn't kill him in the process. They, as you say, they were just trying to poke the ball over the line. Keeper gets there first and makes a save, and Troy Lesesne's thinking to himself, yep, he's made a difference, Santi Moa. And maybe I mustn't leave him out of the starting 11 in future.
As Moore, not to make too lofty a comparison, but it reminded me there of Arjen Robben cutting onto his left. You know he's going to do it.
Yeah.
You just sometimes can't do anything about it. And there, Moore was that extra touch that bamboozled the 2 defenders there for Sacramento, as Bijev tries to get the better of Muhammad and Yearwood, and Muhammad is not pleased with a little bit of an extra shove there from William Bijev.
Bijev proclaiming his innocence.
Muhammad is seeing red at the moment. Schmidt getting in front of him, and now Padilla as well, just to make sure there's no problems. It's a bit extra there from William Bijev, isn't it?
A little bit extra, but I think this is a good sign for New Mexico that Muhammad and his teammates are a little bit uptight, a little bit upset. They're not happy with the way the game's going, and as long as they don't let it spill over into yellow cards, I don't think there's anything wrong with that sort of passion. That's what we didn't see first half from New Mexico. Let's have a look at it again, perhaps, and just see whether Bijev left anything in there in terms of a push and a shove. Was there something? Let's have a look. I think Bijev was felt that that Muhammad ran into him, so he was sort of shoving him off. Either way, it's handbags, as we say, nothing too serious. But I do like the passion of the New Mexico players to sort of fight back, and that's what we used to do sometimes. If we were losing, you get into a little bit of an argument, you get a bit passionate, and suddenly it gives you a bit of extra energy and maybe worries the opposition. So nothing wrong with that, as long as you keep it controlled at all times.
See Freder there struggling at times in tight areas. Now perhaps a bit overplayed there from Rashid Tete. Yearwood trying to profit from a second ball, but just catching enough of it there. Ray Sari. Another strong tackle in there from Haris Ansopoulos. This game just getting a bit physical at the moment. No burst of pace. Sam Warner sliding Bijev in. Muhammad might want to go over and perhaps catch a piece of him as the left-footed delivery is in there from Warner.
That's probably why Bijev got rid of it fairly quickly. He was thinking the same thing. If I hold on too long, I'm going to get hammered here. So. But yeah, you mentioned the physical attributes coming out in the second half, but again, credit to both sides. They're prepared to get physical, they're prepared to get at each other, and they both want to win, and it's a credit to both sides.
It's Moore who catches a bit of Billion Bijev there. His third season with the club. Decent run in the side. On the right. Certainly do with a few more goals from wide areas, Sacramento Republic. Bijev was brought in with that in mind. As will be Jordan McCrary over the free kick. It does look like Warner, he's got a great left foot. Would you go far as to say cultured?
Yeah,
cultured left foot.
Let's have a look, I'll tell you now.
As Warner lofts in, Mizell came up and spilled it, but it was a foul in the judgment of the referee. Mizell not afforded the opportunity to catch. It will be a free kick for New Mexico.
He's complaining, the goalkeeper, saying that it's a dangerous tackle on him when he's up in the air trying to catch the ball. I'm not so sure he's the one who's come off worse, though. But goalkeepers generally are allowed, I won't say a free attempt to catch the ball, but without being hit in the air.
It's Drew Skundrich who's down.
And you can see they're coming together. You never know who takes the big bump. Let's have a look here. Cultured ball in, as you said. Keeper goes up and he gets hit. Yeah, he gets hit. That's not only a definite foul, but that's... Yeah, Skundrich hurts himself in the process, but he could have hurt the goalkeeper as well. So correct decision from the ref. And it has suddenly the physical nature of the game has changed, hasn't it, second half?
And Mizell actually ended up hurting Skundrich with a knee in the air. It's caused by Skundrich perhaps being a bit too close to the keeper. And Mizell just trying to make sure he wasn't going to get taken by that press. Sacramento, though, still throwing a few numbers forward despite leading by that goal to nil. Muhammad Akamatsu. Espadilla with him on the overlap. It's a decent delivery towards that back post away by McCrary. Only as far as Espadilla, who comes well across and slides to win it back and catches a fair bit of Ray Sari and earns himself yellow.
Yeah, it's a fair enough yellow. He was very late there on Sari, and he knew it. There's no argument at all. It was nothing malicious in it. He was just trying to win the ball and stretched a little bit too far. Catches Sari and hope that there's no permanent damage there. But, I don't think there was anything malicious about it. But it is a bad tackle, and it's right in front of the referee, so you're not going to get away with that.
It's also in a dangerous area as well, right where that infield dirt meets the outfield, and there's a little bit of a gap there. And if a player's foot gets caught, it'll certainly be dangerous. See the goalkeeper, Cohen, just tosses a chunk of that turf away. I've seen a few divots taken. This, of course, also the home of the Albuquerque Isotopes, the AAA affiliate of the Colorado Rockies in Major League Baseball. Another heavy tackle in there from Juan Pablo Guzman, and now the referee has stopped play with Guzman going in heavy. And I thought for a moment, given that he could have awarded advantage, that he was going to give red, but it is indeed only yellow for Juan Pablo Guzman.
Yep, definitely yellow. It's a late tackle. It's a dangerous tackle. And certainly New Mexico are coming out here fighting second half, picking up yellow cards. Yeah, it's late, no question about it whatsoever. But it's a different intent all of a sudden now.
Why doesn't the referee allow play to continue? Skundrich takes the ball and plays in Iwasa, who had an opportunity.
Yeah, man, it's a good point. It's a good question to ask the ref. Maybe he felt that it was dangerous enough to have to stop, or that maybe these tackles are flying in. There's too many of them, and he needs to put a lid on this. But yeah, he could have also looked at playing the advantage rule.
Could have come back and still assess the yellow for Guzman, which was certainly warranted, but normally in that instance, if you're going to stop play, it would be for a red. But now a chance for Sam Warner to deliver the ball into that corridor of uncertainty in between the edge of the 18-yard box and where Mizell stands. Dangerous set piece on here for Sam Warner. It's a decent delivery, but cut out by Santi Moar. Headed on by McCrary, and it will fall here in the penalty area, and a vital challenge sliding in there, Yearwood, as Matt Mahoney nearly pounced to give Sacramento their second. It's still a corner for Sacramento Republic.
It was so close, wasn't it, for Mahoney? I think he thought he was about to score, and Yearwood just gets a little toe poke and gets it away from danger. But this exciting match, chances at both ends of the pitch, and credit to Sacramento. We thought that New Mexico were going to come at them. Well, they've come straight back.
And now Warner again. The 6 to aim at. Lofted in edge of the 6-yard area, and again, this time it was Iwasa who could have won in the air, and it came off him last and wide.
New Mexico looking to get this game going. They're trying to start the set pieces a little bit more quickly. They know that while there's plenty of time left to get an equalizer, they want to keep the energy of the game going. They want that feel that they're fighting for every single ball, and it's been a much better second half from the home side.
That was dangerous there for Mahoney. We saw a similar circumstance in the first half for Warner. He had a second ball fall to him in the penalty area, but he just didn't quite see it, and it was cleared away.
Looking at Mahoney there, and I just wonder if he didn't even see the tackle coming in. He was busy sizing up the opportunity.
Free kick was taken quickly.
And called back, I presume.
You would certainly think so. The assistant on the far side still thought it was game on as he was running with Akamatsu, but given the way that Akamatsu just put the ball out of play, it's indeed a free kick still for New Mexico. That time Shannon Gomez reading the game well. In the way of that ball sprayed out towards Akamatsu, and a throw in for New Mexico. A little less than 20 minutes into this second half. I think Troy Lesesne has found the response he wanted from his team.
Oh, absolutely. He's found the response in terms of their emotions. He's found the response in terms of Santi Moa, as we see him on the ball here, causing all sorts of trouble.
Now Moore against McCrary. The lofted delivery is in. The header away will come for Akamatsu in the penalty area towards Padilla. Across the penalty area, Muhammad trying to take down. It's not coming to anything in the end, and Moore had a bit too much of it to win back. Went in pretty heavy there on Bijev. Could have been a nasty one. Is now a final change being prepared for Troy Lesesne. Interesting for New Mexico to go 25 minutes plus added time without an available substitution. And the referee is going to allow it. Devin Sandoval coming on, scorer of 4 league goals on the campaign. Salih Muhammad, the player who makes way, so it's forward for midfielder for the third and final change, which is brought to you by REDW CPA and advisors. There's no substitution for integrity. Bold choice from the New Mexico United manager.
It is, because he's keeping Ryan Williams on the pitch as well, so he's going with a whole bunch of strikers up front. But I like that. It's positive. He's telling his players and the opposition that he's going not just for the draw, but perhaps for the win. And it's wonderful to see.
Also, a couple of players, you have to say, on the pitch on yellow cards. So that certainly can carry a bit of danger.
It can. You're right about the 25 minutes with no further substitutes should there be any injuries, but it's a positive move, it's a bold move, it's an energetic move, and it's a much better second half all round for New Mexico. But as yet, they still haven't got that breakthrough, have they?
Here's Santi Moore. Cutting in off that left-hand side, continues on his way. Such skill from Santi Moore, but his touch going out of play for the goal kick. Just perhaps a bit more than he can chew there.
He has caused so many problems since he came on, but Sacramento defending really well, and I just wonder if they saw that live league table that we saw at halftime had them in what, 5th position, if they should win this match. That's climbing up the table a huge amount from where they currently are at 11th. So much for Sacramento to play for as well in this match, and they certainly are committing themselves to the cause and to defending this 1-0 lead.
Although since we've started, Fresno FC lead by a 1-0 against OKC Energy. That would take them above Sacramento in the live table, but still into 6th, still in the playoff places, which is where they feel they should be as a club. Jamal Johnson with a goal for Fresno as Bijev delivers, and it was dangerous for Mizell as he went blazing over his bar. He waved at it, understanding the danger that cross carried.
It was meant to be a cross in the end from Bijev. It nearly flew into that top corner. And there were a couple of bodies, Sacramento bodies in the box waiting for the cross. It was a dangerous moment. I think as much as we can potentially see New Mexico scoring, you can also see Sacramento getting another one. So this game perfectly poised and balanced, and certainly for the neutrals, it's a wonderful game of committed football at the moment.
At the moment in the second half, possession favoring New Mexico United, 66-34. Shows the intent that they've carried, and perhaps a change of philosophy from Sacramento with their 1-0 lead, as Frater does well to take down Akamatsu. Dig out the ball towards Kevon Frater. He just doesn't look like he's in a position to score at the moment. Guzman. Moar trying to poke it through towards the overlapping Yearwood, but out of play for a throw-in for New Mexico.
Having to work hard, Sacramento, aren't they?
Moore unmarked to Sandoval, trying to get turned, leaving it for Roy Williams. Instead, it'll come for Akamatsu, whose first-time strike straight at Josh Cohen.
Akamatsu's got to do better there. He's been set up perfectly. He didn't have a defender on him. He had time, maybe even to take a touch, but certainly time to have picked his spot a lot better. And Akamatsu putting it right into Josh Cohen's midriff there, but he could have maybe put it into the far corner. So yeah, good opportunity created, but you just feel he could have done so much better at the end here. And Sandoval setting him up, head up. He's got time to hit that far post. I think he knows it.
You can see he was a bit unaccounted for, as he will normally start on the right side of midfield, but popped up on the left side of the penalty area. And you just see Sacramento were a bit short there in accurately marking him. As we'll have a change being prepared for Sacramento, their first of the match. Stefano Bonomo will come on for Viljan Bijev once we get the next opportunity. But Frater and Moore combining. And again, Moore will try and play the switch. Akamatsu will take it down and leave it with Manny Padilla, who's certainly come forward a bit in this second half, trying to play it towards Sandoval. Did well to take it out of the air, but it came for Gomez, who clears. Padilla again, just trying to find any teammate. Instead, it's taken down by Bijev. Might this be the last meaningful action for Viljan Bijev? Here's Viljan Bijev into the penalty area. Bijev across the face of goal, and it was straight at Rashid Tete, who got enough on it, but still danger from Bijev.
I just wonder if Bijev could have shot there. He's got himself in a situation where he's not far out. He's at a decent angle. Have a dip, see if you can get it in the net. Instead, he tries the cross. He tries to cross it. Can't find any of the other Sacramento players. An opportunity lost.
For a new crowd, if shouts of "man on" need to be learned, that certainly would have helped Guzman there, as Iwasa had a fairly easy go of picking him off. Comes with time, doesn't it? I don't know when to shout "man on."
You need that sort of help, though. You need that help from teammates, from the crowd, from coaches, from anybody, because you can't be looking everywhere all the time.
Bijev with another good delivery into the area. Skundrich going through, unable to get the decisive contact on it.
It's a lovely ball in from Bijev yet again. And credit Sacramento, they're not sitting back on this 1-0 lead.
Villarreal and Iwasa trying to slide in. Bijev will still come for the Bulgarian. Bijev towards that byline, trying to get the cross off of Yearwood. And it does. You have another look at the opportunity for Bijev.
Have a look, he does well. He opens it up and just there gets a chance. Look, there was a tightening angle, but I still think it's good enough to have had a dip at the goals. And then as the goalkeeper pushes it out, you've got a couple of Sacramento players to knock it into the net. Either way, Bijev's been very, very sharp last few minutes. Maybe he had the sense he was being taken off and thought, okay, I'm going to give all I've got for the next few minutes, and then I can rest after that.
It will be Stefano Bonomo who will come on. Plays much more as your traditional number 9. Perhaps will allow Iwasa to play a more withdrawn role.
It's probably a more comfortable combination for Iwasa and Bonomo. And a positive move from coach Simon Elliott. Oh, good chance as well from a set piece. Headed over there by Skundrich, and you actually think that was a chance to make it 2-0.
Off the corner. New Mexico announcing another sellout crowd on Isotopes Park. You see the full bank of stands filled to capacity on that far side. It's just incredible what they're doing here at New Mexico United. But I don't want to see their side score a goal. New Mexico United coming in averaging more than 2 goals per match. They've only failed to score once. That was a 0-0 draw away to Rio Grande Valley. Certainly not sent their home fans away without seeing a few. 5 past Real Monarchs, 3 past Portland Timbers 2, 3 past San Antonio. Been prodigious at this ground. As Gomez continues his run, his lofted delivery is towards Iwasa. Guzman doing well to get something on it, and Padilla again clearing sideways. But Moore able to settle.
It's actually difficult for New Mexico to get out of their defensive area. It's how good Sacramento have been this last 10-15 minutes.
Applying some pressure as well.
They absolutely are. They're making it extremely difficult for New Mexico. Look at that pressing, trying to win the ball. They're hunting in packs. They're working hard. Sacramento, very impressive.
As Bonomo tries to slide in Iwasa, see his frustration with the lack of quality on the ball. But Sacramento high pressing right now, making life difficult. They win it again. Warner onto his left. Another sliding tackle in from Guzman.
Oof, got to be careful, Guzman.
He's on a yellow. But won it fairly. And now Sandoval to chase. Devin Sandoval, can he keep it in play? He slides to try and win it. And well done there by Harris Ansopoulos. What type of words the fans have for him. Goal kick for Sacramento.
New Mexico have made all their changes. They're trying everything they can, and they just cannot break the Sacramento defense down. As yet 15 minutes or thereabouts left, so there is some time, but the clock is beginning to tick.
Head to the New Mexico United Twitter page to vote on the Star Brothers Brewing Company Star of the Match. It's twitter.com/New Mexico UTD. We'll bring you the results of that at full time via Real. I have to say, Sacramento Republic would be well worth their 3 points should they win it in both halves. As Sam Warner there winning a free kick. I believe playing the ball off the arm of a New Mexico player, but Villarreal also getting a little bit of a knock.
Guzman's got a few words to say. He's not happy. He thinks it's time wasting. He's got to be careful. He's on a yellow. He had a tackle a few minutes ago that he just got a piece of the ball. The last thing they need now, New Mexico, is to go down to 10 men. It's another free kick for Sam Warner in another dangerous position. Let's see what he can do with this one.
Sam Warner over it, who hit the ground running in his pro career. A goal and 3 assists in his first 4 matches for Sacramento. It's towards the back post. And again, Sacramento threatening on set pieces, dealt with by New Mexico. The second ball in, the delivery towards the back post, the header is on, and it's a second for Sacramento. Won by Matt Mahoney on the back post, who had a great chance earlier in the second half, and he converts there. Sacramento in front against the Western Conference leaders, New Mexico 0, Sacramento Republic 2.
Yeah, and it's well deserved. They've been pushing really hard last 10-15 minutes. They've been getting a whole bunch of free kicks on the edge of the box, and it's from one of those free kicks that goes out, gets back in again, and Matt Mahoney at the far post gets up absolutely superbly to stick that in the back of the net. And they really have battled hard. They've been positive second half. Here's that ball in, perfectly picked out. Could the keeper have come for it? Not so sure. Guzman a little bit short to be defending at the back stick against the big center back. Not much Guzman can do about it. He's looking at Meisel to see if Meisel can come and fetch it. Either way, big center back gets the goal, gets the second goal, and you wonder now, is this going to be a fantastic win for Sacramento this season, race up that league table?
For Matt Mahoney in just his second start for Sacramento, getting the goal. Certainly provide cover for a Sacramento side strong in that central defensive area. He's in for Declan Kanan out due to yellow card suspension. They have options in the center of defense. Trying to send the ball in there, Ryan Williams, and nearly came from Moar. Another strong tackle in from Jordan McCrary. It's fair according to the referee.
They've done really well, Sacramento. You have to give them credit. They've won tackles, they've put their body on the line, they've done all sorts of the physical stuff that's required of them in the second half, and they've been positive enough to get a second goal. Santimoa not happy, he thinks it's time wasting.
He had to go there, McCrary, didn't he?
He did. At least we've seen some passion from New Mexico second half. We didn't see a hell of a lot first half.
Yeah, I wonder if times it's just spilled a bit over.
Probably a little bit. But this is a good test for Troy Lessane's team. As you said, first time they reached a half-time losing in a losing position. And they've been a little bit uptight about it. They've got maybe a couple of yellows too many. They've got to learn to fall behind and still keep control of the game. So lessons to be learned for New Mexico. But credit, huge credit to be given to Sacramento.
Now a throw in for Sacramento. This would be a first home defeat for New Mexico United. 3 wins and 3 draws, including on Wednesday night against OKC Energy. They won both of their matches in the US Open Cup away. A pretty strong record away as well. 3 wins in the league and 2 in the cup. And Sam Warner comes on.
You were saying this is the first game when New Mexico haven't scored a goal, if this result stays the same?
First goal at home, but they haven't scored
a goal at home. So it's another record they'll be losing here tonight if this result stays. And just looking at the stats for Sacramento, they've lost 4 of their last 5 away in USL, so they haven't got a good away record, losing 4 out of 5. This will be a way of turning it around and really getting their season back on track.
Late game heroics certainly not foreign to New Mexico United in their early run here in the USL Championship. Score in the 93rd minute against Portland Timbers 2 to equalize a 3-3 match. As a couple of tackles came in there from Guzman. Pablo Guzman has been unafraid since coming on, and perhaps a bit too much as he's sitting on a yellow card. As now we're going to see more medical treatment. I believe it's Ray Sari who is down.
He's taken a few knocks in this match, Sari. And he's got every right to ask for a bit of treatment if necessary. It doesn't seem to be necessary. It is also part of slowing the game down, so you can also understand New Mexico's frustration. The biggest frustration is being 2-0 down with 10 minutes to go, or 9 minutes to go. That's what's making it so difficult for the home side. How do you score 2 in the space of 9 minutes against a Sacramento side that's given them very little?
There will be a change as Hayden Partain will come on for his 7th league appearance for Sam Warner. And a quality performance on the night. But it's Partain who will be asked to help Sacramento Republic see these last few moments out. On the far side, Skundrich knocked over, throwing for New Mexico.
It's important for New Mexico if they're going to get something out of this match. They've got to get the ball up to the other end of the pitch as quickly as possible. They really do have to play positive, direct football. It's easier said than done.
Hayden Partain in his 3rd season with Sacramento Republic. On as a sub, Iwasa and Bonomo doing well to get turned and hold the ball up. Iwasa strong in possession and sliding in McCrary. Now here is the substitute Partain with a strong ball across the face of goal, but Cody Mizell doing well to claim.
The keeper does very well to claim that. That's a difficult, dangerous ball in the box. And it's one thing diving on it, it's a different thing to hold and keep possession of the ball, which the keeper does absolutely brilliantly. There was a couple of Sacramento players waiting to pounce on that ball if he didn't. It's a crucial save. And talking of things crucial, I'm going back to the penalty that sort of began to separate the two teams and thinking that decision by referee Elvis Osmanovic is turning out to be a crucial decision, and I'm glad to see it again at some stage to see just whether it was the right decision to make, but it's had a massive bearing on the match.
You see the lights from the cell phones out trying to create yet more atmosphere. Headed away by Mahoney for the throw. Now Moar. You see the size of this playing surface playing a role. Cody Mizell playing a goal kick from his own area that went all the way out for a goal kick at the other end. And now Moar just finding it difficult to find space at times. Will now play it over the top towards Akamatsu. Just a bit too much on it. Josh Cohen gonna sort out the grass in his penalty area. Just a little bit more time to kill.
It was the right idea, wasn't it, from Moa? Lovely ball, perfect, almost perfectly weighted, just a little bit too much on it. And Akamatsu once again just not able to turn opportunities to his advantage. And I go back, was it 20-odd minutes when he had a great chance to have scored and put it right down Josh Cohen's throat. So yeah, they'll look back at this game, New Mexico, and say that things just didn't quite go their way. But that's going to be good lessons for them to learn if they're going to keep on growing as a team.
Moar getting the better of defenders once again, but again, too much loft on the ball towards Ryan Williams. But the referee actually going to pull back for a tackle that came in, and it's going to be yellow as well for Ray Sari, a first yellow for Sacramento Republic, and it comes to the 24-year-old midfielder from Kansas City.
He's taken enough punishment. Ray Sari, he's been kicked a few times. He's probably getting a bit of his own back. This would be a good time for New Mexico to score if they're going to have hopes of getting a point out of this match at least. They've really got to get something from this set piece.
And it's Akamatsu over the free kick. Ken Akamatsu earned a spot in preseason in his 7th match for New Mexico United. You see plenty forward. Set piece opportunity, 7 on the edge of the penalty area. And New Mexico United begin the climb back. Ball is into the air, the header came in, and it had plenty of danger on it. Moar went down, and he is grabbing at his face, and it came for Cohen, who handled it.
He seemed to be in a lot of pain initially, and then he got up reasonably quickly. Have a look here, ball comes in. They're all falling all over the place. Very brave header, because the boots were flying everywhere there from Santimoa. Fantastic header, and just not able to beat the keeper.
I think the knee of the defender might have caught him when he went through that header.
That's painful.
There's Moore, who won in the air. Now Sandoval flicks on and earns another free kick for New Mexico. And you see Troy Lesane almost himself wanted to put the ball in play. Just need to get on with it. Guzman. Tete, who struggled a bit on the ball. Here's Schmidt, who gave away the penalty in the first half. Now Frater charging on. A couple of options running with him. Tries to slide in Williams, who slides in to win the ball off of Harris Hansopoulos. Throw in for Sacramento. I thought when Williams slid in that it came off of Hansopoulos last. There's a throw in for McCrary.
Pressurizing New Mexico. They've pushed up as many players as they can. Look at those black shirts everywhere, making it difficult for Sacramento to play out. But if they are going to lose New Mexico, they will still remain top of the league table, which is something. They have a big match coming up against Colorado Rapids on Wednesday, which, who knows, maybe this loss, as it looks at this moment in time, might just bring them down to earth, and they go to Colorado Rapids not thinking, hey, we're top of the league, we're unbeatable. Rather, yeah, we need to put in a much better performance if we're going to beat an MLS team.
Strong tackle in there from Moar, but it's a free kick. He's going to race to put the ball down. Hayden Partain doing well, and in retreating, caught Hayden Partain. And now Moar, who's been a bit high-strung here in this second half, might just have reached his boiling point and went a bit too far into Hayden Partain.
I would like to think that Moar didn't know what he was doing and he was just running backwards. The other side of me will say he did it on purpose just to wind things up, but there's no benefit at this stage of the game. All you're doing is wasting time. So I'll go with the first thought, that he just didn't see Partain.
He is operating at full intensity, Santi Moar. This ball is taken down there by Partain. Now Bonomo running onto and going to use his big frame to ward off Yearwood. Instead, doing very well to play it off of Yearwood for the corner. Guzman very quickly putting the ball down for the corner. As you might expect, Partain will take his time.
If this goes on to be this result, Sacramento will feel very proud of what they've done. A clean sheet away at New Mexico, winning by 2 clear goals. They've managed the game very cleverly, just the 1 yellow card. And it's been an incredibly impressive performance by Sacramento, and one that gives them hope as they go away to San Jose Earthquakes on Tuesday in the Open Cup match.
Frater just leaving too much of it there for Sari. Try to play the ball down the line. Did manage to play it off a black and yellow shirt. I've been told there will be a minimum of 5 minutes to be added on at the end of the second half. Still a chance, Gary?
There's always a chance, but New Mexico have to do something, and it means getting the ball to the other end of the pitch. Right now they're having to defend.
Now Sandoval trying to get in behind. There's 3 white and gray shirts. The one of black and yellow. Gomez doing well to get clear and find a teammate as well. Iwasa poking into the path of Skundrich, who has Partain to aim for. Here's Drew Skundrich into the penalty area. Skundrich peeling it back. Iwasa! Game, set, and match. Sacramento Republic have come into one of the most difficult places to play in USL and picked up 3 points. A professional performance from Simon Elliott's men. It's New Mexico 0, Sacramento 3, and 3 points for the visitors.
Absolutely brilliant. It is a coup de grace at the end there. Done so well, as you say, professionally executed, and that's what they've done to New Mexico. They've executed them here this evening. They've kept onto that 1-0 lead, made it 2, and now finished it off in absolute style. Look at the ability to play together here, head up. There's an option in the middle with Partain. He chooses Iwasa instead, Skundrich, and it's the right of the two. It's the correct one of the 2 choices, and what a good finish from Iwasa. Back of the net, gives the keeper absolutely no chance. It has been a fantastic performance here this evening from Sacramento Republic. You can see the grin on his face. They deserve to be happy with this performance. It has been brilliant.
And we are into second half stoppage time. It gets started with that Iwasa goal. It's brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. We're in the orange zone now. And for the first time, Mexico United supporters are going to be sent home in defeat. 3 wins and 3 draws in the league at this ground. And now Sacramento Republic have turned in a tremendous performance. Dinked over the top there from Iwasa. Just more of a professional job to do. Another tackle in there from Guzman. Free kick for Sacramento. And a less lenient referee might have already given Juan Guzman red.
There was just a little sort of bumping together here, but it looks like it's going to be a substitution necessary. But for New Mexico, well, look, they've had it. You can't do that. You cannot lift players. You don't know if they're injured or not. You just got to walk away and not get involved. Villarreal's quite right. You cannot touch players who are waiting for treatment, just in case there's something that you don't know about. Unless you're a doctor, can't get involved. But this is the frustration. They're losing 3-0 at home, New Mexico. It's been a tough day all round for them. And any good home run has to come to an end one day, and this is the day.
As Jaime Villarreal helped to his feet, he was not happy with Justin Schmidt coming to lift him up. Now Villarreal can step off.
You can't allow, the referee has to step in very quickly there. You cannot allow the opposition to pick up players before the medical staff have seen them. You have no idea as a player whether someone has a serious injury or not. And yes, they might be time wasting, but it's not your job to pick them up and move them. It's your job to ask the referee to sort it out. But again, it is the frustration of being beaten 3-0 at home. Nobody likes it, especially when you're sitting top of the table. It's a tough day at the office for New Mexico and their fans. But let's not look at this match in isolation. It's been an incredible season for New Mexico. Absolutely brilliant. Wonderful crowd, great achievement. They've got to pick themselves up for this next match against Colorado Rapids and get over this defeat as quickly as possible.
A difficult stretch coming up for them. A lot of matches away, both in the Cup and in the league. Away to Colorado Rapids in the U.S. Open Cup in midweek, before trips to Las Vegas and Real Monarchs in USL Championship. Is now more. They're certainly not giving up on the effort. They'll try and loft it towards that back post, and the header is on. And for a moment, it looked like a consolation goal. Some of the crowd thought it went in. Justin Schmidt winning in the air, but side netting.
Does really well there, Justin Schmidt, to get up and head that, but I think he was under so much pressure it was difficult to arrow it into the corner of the net. The fans, look at that, great fans, still applauding. Not many grounds in the world you get beat 3-0 at home when your fans are applauding you. Just saying.
It's a testament to the supporters and the culture developed here at New Mexico United so quickly. Still, even with this defeat, first in their history at home in the league, still a chance for history in the positive sense. First match against MLS opposition, and if they emerge victorious, a league defeat against Sacramento Republic will be forgotten quickly. Free kick for offside. Mizell still waving men forward despite having played the minimum of 5. Referee with his hand in the air, allowing New Mexico to play the corner after winning one. Akamatsu leaving it for Moar. Freighter in the area, hasn't had too many efforts at goal. Here's Ken Akamatsu. They certainly had a few across the face of goal. Sandoval trying to get something to it. Goal kick.
Great defending from Sacramento. High fives around everyone there in that defense. It's been absolutely brilliant. Clean sheet away at the league leaders, and they have withstood a very physical second half. And credit to New Mexico, they've made it tough physically, mentally, and Sacramento have managed to cope with it all. So applause to the visitors, a fantastic night out for them.
When Josh Cohen puts the ball back in play, you'd imagine the final whistle will come. Final note on a brilliant performance from Sacramento Republic. One by Bonomo, away by Schmidt for a throw, and there is the full-time whistle. The best attack in the USL Championship, tamed on the night by Sacramento Republic. For the first time, New Mexico United have lost at home as Sacramento Republic have won by 3-0 behind a brace from Cameron Iwasa.
Well deserved. We said it a few times. Santiago made a difference when he came on at half-time, but they were too far behind at that stage. Not so much in terms of goals, but in terms of getting back in the match. They just couldn't turn over the momentum that was with Sacramento, but Sacramento dug in deep, got the second, killed them off with the third. That's one of the best away performances you'll see for a long, long time.
The second from Matt Mahoney on the aerial delivery. Cameron Iwasa finishing the third. A professional away performance from Sacramento Republic. They're 3-0 winners on the night. We're wrapping this thing up next. For the first time, New Mexico United defeated at home Simon Elliott Sacramento Republic with a brilliant performance away from home. Their third away victory of the campaign. And behind a brace from Cameron Iwasa and a goal from Matt Mahoney, have won on the night. As we get to now our Star Brothers Brewing Company star of the match, it's Santi Moore, number 11 for New Mexico United, who certainly provided a spark when coming on in the second half.
Oh, absolutely he did, and he had one particular chance that he come back twice on his right foot and forced Josh Cohen into a good save. His energy, his passion for the team, he really is a top class player for the USL Championship, and I expect to see him start more games and not come off the bench in future.
Yeah, making his first appearance off the bench tonight with the Wednesday night cup match in mind. As we now get to our play of the match presented by Michelob Ultra, Ken Akamatsu with a thunderbolt of a strike off the frame of the goal.
Yeah, it's a very, very good strike, and so close to getting that elusive goal on the evening. Not many great chances, and this one the best of them. The goalkeeper was struggling to keep that one out. Thank heavens, he said, for the post.
Full-time highlights now. Viljan Bijev getting things started for Sacramento Republic in that first half. Iwasa's strike portended for later on in this match as he carried quite a threat. Kevon Frater's shot wide, as here is the penalty. Justin Schmidt dragging down and Iwasa converting.
Yeah, very, very soft penalty, not sure about it. And there were chances mostly for Sacramento first half, but the penalty was a crucial moment, and perhaps New Mexico could claim that it was a bit of a soft one. Here's that chance that hits the post from Akamatsu, but certainly the first half belonged to the visitors, and they had by far the better of the chances.
Here's Santi Moore after coming on in the second half, forcing the save from Cohen. Akamatsu trying to follow in, but dealt with by the Sacramento goalkeeper, Josh Cohen.
Yeah, brave as a lion to get the loose ball, Josh Cohen there. And then Bijev had a few good balls into the box, a few attempted crosses. He caused a few problems, but this was the chance for me. This is the one. Akamatsu's got time. He's got to score that one, and from that moment onwards, Sacramento took advantage.
There, the delivery to Matt Mahoney on the back post. A solid header after a chance nearly fell to him earlier on in the second. And here for three, Drew Skundrich peeling back perfectly for Iwasa, who makes no mistake.
Yeah, he does. Finishes us brilliantly. Well set up by Skundrich, and a professional way to finish off the game. And Well, the stats might show that New Mexico came back second half, 3 shots on target, but I think overall Sacramento had this one under control. They were better first half, and they dealt with the passion second half, got the second goal to more or less finish them off, and took the third one in style. Sacramento, full marks for their performance today.
And you have to say, as they're up against it in the second half, to go and get the second and eventually the third, a mark of a true quality away performance for Sacramento Republic, who have the USL experience. It was military night here at New Mexico United, a brilliant scene before the match, but that's about where the brilliance would end from a New Mexico United point of view. Sacramento Republic with a pair of goals from Cameron Iwasa and Matt Mahoney, adding a third. Winners on the night away from home, a first home defeat for New Mexico United in the week. It's Open Cup for both these teams in midweek. It finishes New Mexico United 0, Sacramento Republic 3.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.